My parents always compared me to my perfect brother. But when he mocked my little job, he had no idea I secretly owned his company. All my life, I grew up in my brother's shadow. His name is Michael, the golden child, the one who could do no wrong. When we were kids, my mom used to say, "Why can't you be more like your brother? Look how successful he is." I heard that sentence so many times it became background noise in my head. When I brought home good grades, she said, "Michael's were better." When I got into college, my dad said, "But your brother got into a more prestigious one." No matter what I did, I was always almost good enough, but never quite there. Michael started his own tech company right after graduation. My parents worshipped him for it. Every family dinner turned into a speech about how brilliant he was, how far he would go. Meanwhile, I was working as a financial analyst, not glamorous, not loud, but steady. Still, to my parents, it was just a small job. Once my mom told me, "You're a good girl, but you'll never shine like your brother." Those words stuck with me more than she'll ever know. Years passed. I kept working quietly, moving up, saving, learning, investing. I had a knack for spotting potential. I could see which companies would rise and which would fall. Eventually, I started investing in startups through small venture groups, always anonymously. I didn't want recognition or praise. I just wanted to build something that was mine. One day, I got a call from an investment manager about a struggling company looking for a buyout. The founder was desperate for an investor to save it from collapse. I opened the file and froze. The name on the page was Michael, my brother. His thriving tech company wasn't thriving at all. It was drowning in debt. The confident entrepreneur my parents bragged about was just trying to survive. I sat there staring at the screen for a long time. Then I made a decision. I didn't tell anyone, not him, not my parents. I invested the full amount through a holding group, making myself the silent owner. Michael thought some faceless investor had rescued him. He had no idea that investor was me. Months passed. He continued acting like he was untouchable. My parents still bragged about him at every family dinner. "Your brother's business is expanding again," my mom said once, smiling proudly. I just nodded and smiled too. Then came last Thanksgiving. The whole family was there: mom, dad, Michael, his fiancée, and me. The table was full of food, laughter, and the same old routine. My mom asked Michael about his company. He proudly said, "Oh, we're doing great." My new investor really turned things around. Then he looked at me with that smug grin he always had. "And you?" he asked. "Still working that little job of yours?" My parents chuckled. Even after all these years, it still hurt. But I didn't show it. I smiled and said, "Yeah, still there. Small job, steady work. But sometimes, small steps lead to big places." He smirked. "Well, not everyone's cut out to be a business owner." I leaned back and said softly, "Yeah, not everyone is." Then, as if fate had planned it, my mom asked him, "By the way, honey, do you know who your investor is? It must be someone important." Michael laughed. "No idea. Whoever they are, they saved my company. I owe them everything." I looked him straight in the eyes and said quietly, "Then I guess you owe me." The room went dead silent. He blinked. "What?" I pulled out my phone, opened the contract, and slid it across the table. My name was there, plain and clear, as the final owner of the controlling shares. His face went pale, then red. He slammed his fork down so hard it echoed. "You're lying." I just said, "No, Michael. I'm not. I didn't want to embarrass you. I just wanted to help. You needed someone who believed in your company. I did." He stood up, shouting, "You ruined my life. You took my company from me." I stayed calm. "No, you did that yourself. I just picked up what you dropped." My parents sat frozen. My mom's eyes darted between us, her mouth half open but silent. For the first time, they didn't defend him. I stood up, grabbed my coat, and said quietly, "All my life you compared me to him. You were right, I'm nothing like him. I don't need to prove I'm better. I just am." Then I left. A week later, I got an email from Michael. It wasn't angry this time. It just said, "You were always stronger than I gave you credit for. I guess I finally learned something from you." I didn't reply. I didn't need to. For the first time in my life, I wasn't the invisible one at the table. I wasn't the other child. I was simply me. And honestly, that was worth more than any company could ever be.